complete your advanced individual. So you go to AIT. What was your AIT and how was it?
So I went to Fort Leonard Wood up in Missouri for 12 Tango Technical Engineer School. And it was interesting because like it was both fun and not fun because I got the feeling that some of our cadre kind of hated us. um, and they kind of hated their jobs too. Some of them were really awesome though. But it was this weird experience where it was kind of like you're like in community college essentially, but there's also like people yelling at you every now and then, and
Yep.
you working out every morning. But it was, it was interesting. It was kind of fun. It was like we were doing fun stuff in class and all that, and it was a weird experience because now I'm in the army, but I get occasionally a pass and I can go like around post and stuff like that, and I can eat junk food. Like I thought that was a trap. Um, Not only can I eat junk food, I can go out and buy the junk food myself. Like I can just go down to the PX. I was like, there ain't no way, man. I'm gonna come around the corner and there's gonna be somebody waiting for me.
Some drill sergeant knife handing
Yeah,
you.
but but in processing to out processing, I was there for about 5 months. Um, so it went on for a while. But I mean, yeah, it was fun.
Good deal. So what's the most memorable or what's a bad story, good story, best story? What's your most memorable story from AIT? I think you and Chad were talking about one that you were talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
we,
So
We
we
already know.
talked. We had a night guard talk about
a
that.
night guard talk. Okay, I got to hear this then.
We already know where this story, which story I'm going with here. So all of this is alleged. Um,
Oh, wow. I'm going to go that route.
hypothetically. So so Fort Leonard Wood is situated between uh probably the second smallest town in Missouri and the smallest town in Missouri. Um, when I was there, they had a combined population of 4,000 people, not including like that's both cities together, not including Fort Leonard Wood itself, obviously. Um, and things to do were, they'd recommend you go to the Mall of Wainwright, which is one of those towns, or no, it was the Mall of St. Roberts. I get them mixed up. The Mall of St. Roberts. It was a Walmart. That was it. Like that, you had a Walmart, you had a theater that had like two or three screens, and then you had a Wendy's. And like you, usually most weekends we would end up chain smoking outside of a come and go because like there's nothing else to do, and I picked up smoking in AIT. Like it was that boring. So the point is, we're spinning our wheels on those weekends, and they tell you like, hey, doesn't matter how old you are, you cannot drink. Doesn't matter how old you are, you cannot get a hotel. Now the hotel thing, originally what people were doing, and this was as late as like a year before I went. What people were doing is they would get a hotel for the weekend and they would just crash there, and it would just be like, you're not doing the army thing. You have your own place. You're waking up and going to Wendy's or whatever to get something to eat. Like you can pretend you're not at AIT for a little bit,
Mhm.
and it was really relaxing. But obviously, when you've got 18, 19-year-old people getting hotel rooms, bad things happen. So they banned it.
What were those bad things?
Well, you see,
A man and
when a man and a woman love each other very
Were there
much,
lots of females at your AIT?
there were a decent amount.
Okay, all
It
right.
was
So that's I was curious if it was like female soldiers or if they were like I don't know if that area in Fort Leonard Wood has a lot of ladies of the night trolling the streets or not, but
maybe, I don't know.
okay. So it's soldiers and soldiers, young soldiers hooking up. Gotcha.
Yeah. Um, but we had basically finished up our training and we were going to be kind of in a semi holdover phase. Um, and it was basically our last weekend because I usually they try to encourage you to stay on post for your actual last weekend so you don't go off and you don't get arrested or anything like that, and they can just ship you off and call it good. Less paperwork. So this was going to be our last weekend to go off post, and we were like,
Go hard.
our rules really rules.
Yeah, go hard or go home.
Yeah, go hard or go home. So it was me, Medina, Tapa, um,
Are you sure you should be saying these names?
it was me, a guy, another guy,
Some friends.
some friends, man, some friends.
Some nameless friends.
We only had one guy that was over 21. The rest of us were like 19 or 20. And we had him go in and buy alcohol where we're all like around the corner, just like peeking around. Did he get it? Did he get carded? That sort of thing. But so we had the plan, like we're gonna have a good weekend. We're gonna bend the rules a little bit, allegedly, and have a good time. So we get the alcohol, and the hotel's right behind us, and we're like, well, we gotta have somewhere to drink it. We can't just be drinking on the street. Let's just get a hotel room. We're gonna drink for a little bit, be like a 1 hour thing, toss everything out, and check out. And so we get the hotel room, go up there, and somebody had the bright idea to invite a couple other people. And so we're all over there just drinking, and these 3 other soldiers in our company, they were a different MOS school. They come in, and it's 2 guys and a girl. Like, hey, welcome to the party. You want some Captain Morgan? They ignored us, and they went over to the bed,
Oh boy.
and they got a little bit handsy, and it was just like 4 or 5 19, 20-year-old dudes just with red Solo cups, like, oh, what do we do?
Oh
like,
my gosh.
like I didn't even know these people. It's like, who invited them? I don't know. Did you invite them? I don't know. Like, okay, well, let's get out of here, I guess. I don't want to deal with any of that. So we just left and like checked out, and left them in the room, turned in the keys and everything. I didn't know how to deal with that, and they're not my people, so but yeah, we gotta check out, and a grand like 3 hours total has passed since we checked in, and the receptionist is like, oh, wait a minute, you guys are recruits, aren't you? Gotta go, bye. Run out the door. Because they were told like they're not allowed to let recruits get rooms. But so anyways, so
Out of curiosity, before we get, how old were these 3 people that came in that just started? And they were all 3 doing it together, or was just 2 of them, and then the other one was just kind of smoking and joking, hanging out with you guys? Like, what's going on here?
I knew their names at the time. I don't remember their name. I knew like one of their names at the time. I knew which like MOS school they were in, because like our company was a combination of 4 different MOSs. I knew which school they were in, and I knew one of their names. That is it. But all 3 of them, just guy, girl, guy, just on one of the beds, and I was like, I want to get out of here before I start seeing anything else. And everybody else wanted to too. Yeah, it was just like, honestly, we left them there. They may have gotten kicked out of the army. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
ugh, so weird.
I was like,
Don't do anything to threaten your army career.
yep. Like if they're really that great, save it for once you graduate. Like, just take care of it at home. Like, do it later.
Is that an army rhyme? If they're that great, wait till you graduate.
Oh, I didn't even know. Hey, that should be a slogan.
If they're that
We
great,
just
made a new army slogan.
Yeah.
guys. If they're that great, pick a date.
But yeah, you'll get kicked out so fast if they find out.
Oh,
But anyway, so that's kind of the backstory of where we're at. So we get outside, we're a little bit buzzed, and we realize time has gotten away from us. Like, that whole situation was a little bit crazy for us, so we weren't paying attention. It is like 10 minutes to final formation, and we're like, oh no, we are between buzzed and drunk, and we're about to be late to final formation. This is not going to be a good night. But we call up the CQ sergeant. He was a guy that wasn't around all that often. He just came in to do CQ every now and then, I guess. And we called him and we said, "Hey, there's a lot of traffic and the taxis aren't responding to our calls, so we might be a little bit late, and that's why we haven't gotten there yet."
We're good.
And he's just like, "When are you getting here?" A taxi has not arrived yet. That part was not a lie, because we hadn't called them yet. And he's like, "All right, I'll give you it." Our final formation was like 9, I think, or something like that. And he's like, "All right, I'll give you till 9:15 to get here." I'm like, "Sweet, 20 minutes or 25 minutes. We got plenty of time."
Piece of cake.
Yeah, piece of cake. We'll make that, no problem. And we call up. Somebody was like, "No, let me call this one taxi driver. They're a total G. Like, it's gonna be great." I was like, "I don't know. Pretty sure you're the one that invited those people. I don't know if I want to trust you." And he's like, "Well, it's this or we walk." I was like, "All right." Calls her up. She's awesome. Rolls up. I'm like, "Hi, you guys are about to be late to formation, aren't you?" "Yeah." She's like, "All right, I'll step on it." So we all pile in, and it was. Let me count up. I don't want to say names. Thank you for that earlier, by the way. So we had 5. We had 5 people piling into this taxi cab, and as we're getting in, we see like a silhouette in the darkness. And I think this is the part I told you about.
You did.
We see a silhouette in the darkness. And we're like, "Who is that? Who is that?" And he stumbles in under a street lamp, and it's another guy who I was about to name. Um, and he is hammered.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
he is gone. I don't even know where this guy went. He wasn't with us when he's just on his own, and he is drunk, and he is graduating tomorrow. And we're like, "Oh no, dude." He's like, "Hey guys, what y'all up to?" I'm like, "Man, we gotta go." Like, it's like, I don't know who you've been with, but like, get in. So we pull him into the taxi, and like we basically just put him on our laps in the back seat because he's like gone.
Like that scene from Dumb and Dumber where they're just picking up random people on the road. Like, who's that? Pick them up!
Yeah, yeah. And the taxi driver lady was so nice. She's just like, "Oh man, y'all got to get that guy some water. Come on, bring him in. Let's go." And we pile him in. We're flying down the road and sped all the way back, and we make it just in time for final formation. And we get out of the car, and she's like, "All right, good luck, guys." And we're like, "Thanks, we'll need it." We run up there, and we get in the mass formation, and it's dark out, and there's like a light that's shining just perfectly so that all of us look silhouetted, but the CQ sergeant, is visible. So we're like, "All right, sweet. We've kind of got the shadows. We've got concealment here. We can move this gentleman to kind of the back, so he's not obvious." And CQ sergeant is like announcing stuff like blah 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 blah. Lights out is going to be in 30 minutes or an hour or whatever.
Mhm.
You can do this, you cannot do that. Safety brief, that sort of thing. And this guy is like, after everything the CQ sergeant says, like every sentence, "Yes, sergeant! Yes, sergeant!" Like the only guy in a company of 200 people,
Oh
just
my God.
screaming and just doing his thing, and like, and at first CQ sergeant's like, "All right, we got somebody that's motivated." But then he starts to figure it out. He's like, "Man, that guy's kind of slurring his words a little bit. He's like responding to the most random stuff. I just mentioned like bathrooms, and he's excited." Like, So he starts to realize, and he's like, "Who is that?"
God.
And we're like, oh no. and, and this guy's about to say something, and one of us, I can't remember who it was, like jumps up real quick and like puts our hand over his mouth and like, shut up. And he just kind of nods, and we let him go. And I also forgot to mention at this point he can't stand, so like somebody's like holding him up.
Oh my god.
So we're like, dude, listen, you if you do not do what we tell you to do, you are going to be kicked out of the army tonight. And he had like a brief moment of sobriety, and he's
Lay low.
like, just, we will tell you what to do. Do exactly what we tell you to do. He's like, okay. First of all, shut up. Okay. So we get that established. And obviously nobody has answered the CQ sergeant yet, but he's heard a lot of whispering in the formation. So he's like, all right, that's it. I want all of you to file up. I'm getting the breathalyzer.
Oh my god.
And we're like, oh, this is no longer just a him problem. This is also an us problem. Because we're a little bit buzzed too. It's like, this is it, boys. Like, we had a good run. It's been a year and a half.
The army life for me, baby.
Yeah, like in and out, speed run, man. But so we're going through, and I'm getting nervous because like I was usually pretty good at coming up with excuses, but breathalyzer don't lie, man. Like that's numbers and math and science and such. So I'm trying to think of something, anything. I'm trying to trade back places with people, but there's other people that are like, because they're drunk too.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good weekend. We eventually get up to the front. I'm like, man, I don't know. I've been chugging water from my Camelback. Hopefully I'm good. I guess we'll see. We get up there, and he's not breathalyzing people anymore. And I'm like, hey, what happened? Like, is he, like, does he trust us now or something? Did he find somebody and give up? And they're like, no, the breathalyzer ran out of batteries. It's like, we're safe. We're back in it, boys.
What a great day.
We're back in it. He's like, but he's interviewing everybody that comes through, and like he's like taking his time with them. I know I'm good, but I look back at that one gentleman, and he's leaning against the wall, fading fast. I was like, ugh. And you have to like walk into the office to talk to this guy, so we can't like prop him up, like be on the side of the door, like holding him or something like that.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, like we're running out of options quick. But it gets to me and the rest of my friends that originally, went out together, and we all get through no problem. And we had pushed him back to right behind us, getting him as far back in the line as possible to give him as much time, hoping and praying that he'd be all right. And can't remember who it was, but before they went in for their interview, they pulled him aside and they're like, "Look, man, you gotta walk in here. Like, this is it. This is the Super Bowl. Like, you gotta, like, just, all we need you to do, stand up straight and speak coherently for 2 minutes. It's all we need. And then we will literally carry you up the stairs if we have to after you get done with the interview." And he's like,
Yes, Sergeant.
yeah. He's just like, yeah.
Oh
And we're
my
like,
God.
I mean, did our best. We'll just see if this floats. And
Let's see if this turd floats.
yeah. And we go around, we finish up with our interviews. We go around the corner, and like the wall was kind of this weird thing where there was like a window on it, even though it was an interior wall. But it worked out great for us because we could watch and see what happened. And we watched this guy come into the building. He is stumbling, like he barely makes it to that office door, and we're like,
It's over.
and as soon as he goes through that door,
The threshold.
as soon as he crosses the threshold, most professional person I've ever seen. He's walking perfectly straight. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, it was like magic. Like, he was tilted coming into the, like, he was leaning coming into the building, and then just perfectly fine, completely sober. And he goes in there, and we're like, okay, he walked the walk. Can he talk the talk? Literally, like, is it gonna, like, what's it gonna sound like? And he's talking to this sergeant, and you can hear a little bit of a slur, but man, he is like struggling to keep it coherent. And it was enough to where you could think, well, maybe he just has like a speech impediment.
Maybe he's dumb.
Maybe he's dumb. And I could see it on the CQ sergeant's face. He was suspicious. He was real suspicious. Because he also recognized that voice from earlier. He was like, and I can't remember what all questions he asked him, but he was really going after him. He knew it was him, but he just couldn't get him on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he's just like, fine, get out of here. This guy makes it around the corner to us and then just falls over.
He exhausted his last little bit of sobriety in order to do that and just lost it. Left his body.
We're like, you made it! And he's like, yeah. We drag him up the staircase, and he did not get kicked out of the Army that day.
Well, good deal.
It was a wonderful night.
It sounds like it. So how was graduation at AIT the following day? Was there any type of ceremony, or was it just kind of like, go home?
No, so it was graduation for him. We didn't graduate until about a week later because he was in the class right in front of us. So graduation for it, there was a little bit of ceremony to it, but it's not anything like basic training. Like for us, our class was 8 people. So they just pulled us into a room, and I mean, they had like somebody high ranking, I don't remember who, probably some lieutenant colonel or something, and like representatives of the program. They had the master sergeant that was in charge of that school and all that sort of thing. And it was basically just march in, say a couple words, get your certificate, and then you're done basically, and you go home. And they invite your families to be there and all that sort of thing. So I just got my certificate. You march out, and at the back of the room is my family. Hey, I did it. We went to Texas Roadhouse, and then we went back to Oklahoma.
Oh, nice. Okay.